Welcome to a video. I am very excited to record a video that I had in the back of my head for quite some time. A video I'm sure a lot of you who are new to the channel or old to the channel and been watching the recent content have been just hoping that I get into, sink my teeth into. That is right, brothers. I am finally going to learn Space Marine lore. Instead of just playing the games and asking dumb questions, I actually want to figure out how Space Marines are made, what gets them going, what is the lore with Warhammer 40k. So thank you very much for clicking on this video, giving it a shot. Now the video I'm going to watch, you probably already know who they are. This is the video that I chose. Your guide to becoming an Astartes. Am I saying it right? It doesn't matter because after this video I will, but of course, if you like the video, leave a comment. Comment down below, actually, a video out there that is really good. Maybe it's this individual again. That's really good at explaining how dreadnoughts are made. I think dreadnoughts are just something in Space Marine that for some reason I just gravitate towards. I think dreadnoughts are like the coolest, and heavies. I don't know. I've been a skinny boy my whole life. I've been a little skinny boy my whole life. Maybe I have a power fantasy of something, but maybe heavies aren't different than Space Marines or Astartes or anything. They're just Space Marines that happen to wear heavy gear. I just love Avidus. And speaking of heavy, I am now a Prestige 3. Let's go back to full screen. I am now a Prestige 3. This is 6. This is 3. Heavy in Space Marine 2. Loving it. Loving that. I am loving Space Marine 2. But I gotta get back to Dawn of War, man. Dawn of War has some amazing characters, so I might be starting Dawn of War 3 soon. After a couple of these lore videos, just to really figure out more people. Titus, badass, by the way, for the Emperor. All right, but let's get started, man. Let's get started. Let's figure out exactly how to become an Astartes. I got my cat right here. He's locked in too. For the Emperor. Yes. Okay. In a grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Damn, bars. Are my headphones plugged out? Why can't I hear them? Wait a second. Why am I deaf? Why am I deaf? What's going on here? Unless there's just no sound. Is there no sound in the beginning of this video? Let me see.
Astartes were.
Yeah, there is no sound in the beginning of the video. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I mean, these guys are they're fucking aura maxing, so pretty chill. Ah, dude, they're so cool, man. I think it's because I grew up loving Gears of War, right? I grew up in the
They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give themselves to me. Like clay I shall mould them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons they shall be armed.
Oh my!
They'll be untouched.
Dude, everything in Warhammer is fucking aura. And with the might, I'm not just gonna repeat it, right? But it's just like everything about it is straight to like the core. I don't know how you can describe the feeling that I'm feeling. Everything is to the core. I feel like with Space Marine, like to the core, you're doing your duty, you're doing your job, you have you're being non-corrupted, right? Like you're a fucking walking just machine. I don't know, man.
Great
like
armor I shall clad them.
The mental
and with the
fortitude.
Weapons they shall be
the
armed.
mental fortitude
They'll
is
be
just
untouched
so...
by plague or disease. No sickness shall blight them. They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe.
Also, didn't know this guy had an accent. Pretty dope. Where's he from? Where's it? England? Is this an English accent? Let me not do it. My English accent is terrible, man. Right? I'm American. Fucking, could you guess? Yeah, I think I could do like a Southern accent, right? I can't do a British accent. I see. No, let me stop. Let me. A British.
Will best them in battle. They are my bulwark against the terror. They are the defenders of humanity.
Bulwark.
They are my space marines. And they shall know no fear.
Oh, bitch. No, I'm joking. That's the Emperor. I'm sorry. Listen, I didn't mean it. I didn't. Okay, I'm not going to say shit like that no more. I'm not going to say anything like that no more. Let me just bask in his... Please forgive me. Please forgive me, Emperor.
Space Marines are humanity's most elite fighting force. They're the defenders of civilization, but their immense power is forged through a harsh selection process, extreme genetic and body modifications. This grueling transformation kills many.
Look at him! Look at this fucking... Whatever the fuck is it? I know the basics. Like, it's like your fucking nervous system is embedded into these shits. Put me in one of these, man. Put me in one of these. Test my fortitude. Put me in one of these.
Recruits, and those who do survive it are left arguably barely human. The conversion from weak mortal to demi-godlike superhuman is one gifted to only a tiny amount of humans in the 41st millennium. And Astartes, when his transformation is complete, will be stronger, tougher, mentally more powerful by factors than an ordinary human.
That is crazy.
And while a Space Marine's prime mission is to protect humanity, their physical disparity from ordinary common humans can actually leave many Astartes to look down on these lesser common humans.
Oh, there's like some Viltrumite invincible lore happening. These guys, like, they're... Well, I guess Viltrumites are like literally space gods compared to humans. What would be like a good example of this in modern media? Comment down below what a good example would be of like one group of people becoming maybe more rich and powerful than another group of people and then looking down on those groups of people. You know what I'm saying?
While others will feel renewed sense of
I'm being reckless. I'm being reckless, man. I'm being reckless.
To protect those who
they're so cool.
Themselves. It's important to remember that Space Marines are the defenders of humanity and not the rulers of it. Humans, for better or worse, have been the leaders of the Imperium of Man until recently with the return of Primarch Robo Guilliman.
I hate the Imperiums, by the way.
While the transformation of a human to Space Marine is complex, you'll often hear the terminology of a gene seed.
Yes, gene seed. This is something that happened a lot in Dawn of War. They talked about the gene seed quite a bit. And I know, like, while I was playing Space Marine 2, my friend was talking about gene seeds as well. This is what I really want to know, is how the fuck gene seeds are...
Now, a gene seed is not literally a seed, but it is a specific organ that each Astartes carries with seed-like qualities. It's a term used to describe generally the genetic material of an Astartes. It's more accurately the cells and DNA required to engineer a human into an Astartes.
Oh.
The gene seed, more specifically, refers to the Space Marines' progenoid glands. And the clue is in the name there when you think of progeny. These organs in a Space Marine respond to the other genetic implants they have and replicate.
The organs respond to the other implants. Like, who the fuck came up with this? Who's the creator of Warhammer? Wait, let's look that up real quick. Let's look that up. What's up, buddy? Daddy wants to look up who the creator of Warhammer is real quick. Let me see. Who created Warhammer 40k? Warhammer 40k was primarily created by designer Rick Priestley for Games Workshop in 1987. Originally released as Rogue Trader, the game was designed by Priestley, which, with contributions on his early development from others like Richard Halliwell. Wow. Rick Priestley, man, what a guy. Came up with this shit. He said, okay, they're gonna have fucking, we're gonna slap a fucking liver in them and then they're gonna be fucking super soldiers. We're gonna slap a fucking, we're gonna put a fucking pancreas inside and he's gonna go fucking fight aliens. You know what I'm saying, dude? What the fuck?
Replicate DNA. Essentially, they are, in a manner of speaking, an asexual form of reproduction, which is why when a Space Marine is fatally wounded on a battlefield, an apothecary will fight to recover his gene seed. It's also why, yes, Space Marines do not require heterosexual reproduction. 5
They
years
don't
from
fuck, the J dude. Warhammer, they don't fuck canonically. Look at these big, dude. Look at these fucking Funko Pops.
implantation,
Nah, I know these are actually the Warhammer tabletop pieces, and they're fucking badass. Let me just say right now, I need to get some heavies and a dreadnought.
Means neck progeny glands can be harvested, but the chest glands won't be harvested up
Okay, we're winding. I'm sorry.
Require heterosexual reproduction.
Listen, okay, yeah, they don't.
5 years from implantation, a Space Marine's neck progeny glands can be harvested, but the chest glands won't be harvested up until 10 years. Space Marines essentially depend on themselves to produce new Marines for the chapter. Lastly, in this general sphere of discussion, to answer a very common...
Wait. Am I understanding this right? Every like 5 to 10 years, they're ripping shit out of fully developed Space Marines to then put it into the new guy? Is that what I'm understanding? Am I not understand? Are they fucking like, hey, dude, your 5 years is coming up. Gotta go get your goddamn fucking neck gland so we can make some more Astartes. Listen, a guy in Space Marine 2 had an Irish accent, okay? Why can't one have... There has to be one with a hillbilly accent, man. There has to be one. And I can say hillbilly. I'm from America.
The discussed topic, are Space Marines actually castrated? And then, how do they excrete waste? Well, I can't actually recall anywhere in written law this being noted. So if anybody has a specific point of reference, please do link it.
They don't
poop.
Speculation... They don't poop, they don't fuck, they only kill? That's crazy.
Based on a few things that I've kind of looked at, is that pretty much the canon opinion is that Space Marines have no sexual drive. However, when it comes to excretion, it's true that their armor is also an environment suit that would cycle and process their own waste, much like a still suit in the Dune universe. Also, Space Marines do not live in their armor, although they may wear it for extended periods of time. Okay. It can be removed.
Yeah,
it's so entirely like a little possible that their external genitals
got a little poop sack in the back of your, you know, you're fighting Tyranids and you bah, 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 bah. All right, I'm a heavy, right? Bah, 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 bah. You know, a little poop. Bah, 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 poop. Right? You cycle in it while you're reloading, little poop. Right? You gotta make sure your bowels are clean.
All removed, and they have implants.
Well, do they eat though? Like, what's the? Why we have to go to the? Are these fuckers eating? What are they eating? Turkey legs? Bioengineered meat? Red 40? They probably love Red 40.
To take care of waste, but I've got nothing to see that it points towards this. So it's an unknown, but it's not something that's critically really important in the scheme of things.
The creator.
It's equally possible that it's just seen as an organ as with everything else, and they just leave it all be.
Astartes history. Okay.
Now, before we look further into how a Space Marine is forged in the 41st millennium, let's remind ourselves how they were created over history.
Yes!
The first form of Space Marine was originally created by the Emperor during the Unification Wars of the...
We also gotta watch a video on who the fuck the Emperor is. No, I should not even swear in the same sentence as him, right? We gotta figure out who the Emperor is as well, because that guy's aura.
The late 30th millennium. Earth at this time was a barren wasteland of scavengers and barbaric warring tribes after civilization had imploded as a result of the Age of Strife. Earth, being cut off from its supply routes in the warp, cannibalized itself and fell into total anarchy. After the Emperor originally created techno-barbarians, a crude adapted form of super soldier, he would form them later into the Thunder Warriors.
Oh.
These warriors were brutal, powerful, and most importantly, highly unstable.
Dude, he made fucking Fent heads. He put Fent in. He just gave Fent to all the human. He gave Fent to like bodybuilders, dude. He was like, all right, let me make some fucking Joey Swoles and then give them Fent and then have them go fight wars.
Emperor knew that he wouldn't be able to work with these soldiers forged in the fires of anarchy beyond the unification of Earth's warring tribes. And so he secretly constructed his genetic facilities in a fortress deep below vast mountain ranges on Earth. Here, he would,
with some few anymore? Like, is the Emperor still a guy? Can you still call the Emperor my dude? Right? Can you dap him up? You know, like. Or I assume this is the Emperor. Maybe this is the Thunderhawks. It might be a Thunderhawk. I don't know. I don't know,
create
but either way, can you dap up the Emperor? Let me know.
Trademarks using his own genetic material as a template. Then subsequently, the very first of the new breed of warriors, the Space Marines, or Astartes. But what are the Thunder Warriors? Imperial records state that the Thunder Warriors were nearly all wiped out during a particularly bloody battle at the end of the Unification Wars on Mount Ararat. Conveniently, the new Legiones Astartes were created readily to replace them. Now, records from this time are understandably fragmented, but described eyewitness accounts.
Okay, let me say it out loud. So the Thunder Warriors were basically like the first edition, but they were very uncontrollable. And the Emperor was like, I need to make some new guys. Are they kind of like orcs from Lord of the Rings? Like the Space Marines are the orcs, right? A little bit more stable, a little bit better than you know, the orcs. Wait a second. That's how that dude. This is, oh my god, the lore goes crazy. They just have a little fat head baby and then like a fucking actual soldier baby, but they're not even babies. I don't know. Do they come out looking like a 40-year-old man, or we'll find out? We'll find out. Let me shut my bitch ass up.
Thunder Warriors to survive this battle, like Eric Turnus, stated that it was in fact the Emperor himself who massacred the Thunder Warriors.
Oh,
others have stated that it was also in collaboration with his custodian guard.
Oh,
in several instances that occurred since this time, where Thunder Warriors have appeared and faced their Astartes brothers, the Thunder Warriors have nearly always managed to inflict casualties beyond expectation before they are finally felled.
This looks like, yeah, these guys look like they will get cooked. What the hell am I looking at?
This gives some indication of how powerful they were as warriors, and why the Emperor felt they were perhaps too dangerous, given their power and psychological instability, to function as a disciplined fighting and defensive force for the new Imperium. Regardless, this whole situation is a dark and little spoken of episode for the Emperor.
Also, let me just say real quick, the art that he's been showing throughout the video, fucking amazing. Like let's not glance over that. Dude, look at the fucking detail on like everybody. On every unfortunately I'm covering this guy's cybernetic eye, and he is bald with like wires going over his head. Dude, look at this dude's like armor, the fur, there's like the walls, the tatteredness, the scars, the aura, the hands, this fucking giant bozo. Like, wow, man.
Vocalizing these events would no doubt have some inquisition or ecclesiarchy on their way to you very promptly. With the Thunder Warriors killed in the Battle of Mount Ararat, the new Space Marines, the Legiones Astartes, would come to the fore. Unlike their Thunder Warrior forebears, they would undergo rigorous mental training, as well as physical and genetic modifications.
Yes,
this would
that's
give
what I'm excited to also learn. That's what I'm most excited to learn.
As well as being near unbreakable with their mental conditioning. The new Marines were initially segregated into 20 legions. This separation was not for simple organizational purposes. Each legion was imbued with genetic traits from their Primarch, and as such, this impacted their character and behavior.
Hopefully he explains some of the Primarchs of each. We'll probably get like the main Primarchs. Most likely, like, I don't know if there's like a hierarchy of Space Marine groups, you know, like if we're dealing with like Spider-Man multiverses, like Spider-Man, right? And then it's like Spider-Man Noir might be like down here. I don't know if it's going to be like, these are Space Marines right here, and then it's like, and these are the fucking Yellow Jackets, and you know they are Space Marines, but they kind of just do fucking side quests the whole time. But it's like, these are the, you know, the Blood Ravens or the Death Watch. I don't even know if the Death Watch ranks highly. My like anime brain thinks it does, but you know what? I'm excited to see the. Oh my god, there's everything about Space Marine. There's something new to learn and like latch onto, and that really is just what like brings me really into the series. I'm like, okay, Space Marines, okay, how the fuck are these dudes made? Oh, there's Gene Seeds. Oh, there's Thunderhawks. Oh, the Emperor. Oh, this, and then, oh, there's a war. Oh, and then these guys did this, and then also there's 20 fucking factions. So, and I'm sure each of those 20 factions has unique individuals that you're probably gonna fuck with once. Which one is Avidus in, right? I love Avidus. Avidus is so cool. Cyrus is so fucking mid. If you like listen, man, Cyrus is mid as hell. We like Avidus around here. And Tarkus.
Sure, Unity, the
Thaddeus
Emperor,
is whatever.
designated them to stay together in their legion.
But are they only in the Dawn of War games? I don't know. Oh my.
To reduce friction and ensure cohesion of the Astartes brothers. Through recruiting and conquest of human colonies as the Imperium expanded, so did the Astartes legions.
Okay.
What had begun as a handful of Marines swelled to tens of thousands during the Crusades. This would lead later to heavy damage caused during the Heresy after the Primarchs holding such immense power, being the sole commanders of each Space Marine legion.
Okay.
After that period of chaotic incursion, Roboute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines, would draft the Codex Astartes, and the remaining loyalist Primarchs would, after much consideration, agree at best that the Space Marine legions be split into chapters.
Chapters. Okay, this is also very important. I always hear like, oh, chapter, my chapter, homeboy in the Space Marine 2, right? He was the chapter master. I forget. I don't know, dude. The fact that I forgot his fucking name is pissing me off.
Sure, no Space Marine Legion could wield the sheer weight of power they had during the Crusades and subsequent heresy. This was known as the Second Founding. Each of these chapters would take a permanent homeworld or fortress monastery in the Imperium. The Codex Astartes states that each chapter would be 1,000 battle brothers in number and manage its own recruitment.
Oh, wow.
A specific development in the creation of a Space Marine was discovered after the Horus Heresy: weaknesses in the gene seed. Now, as I previously explained, the gene seed is the core biological component in the creation of a Space Marine. During the Heresy, Space Marines were created on a massive scale, and as with any biological replication process, if you do this on a large scale, then mutations and errors can occur.
Oh, they basically have like incest. There was a Space Marine that had like 3 ears or some shit. Oh my god, they kept replicating the same gene seed and eventually a fucking mutant popped out. Oh my.
DNA replication.
You guys ever seen, this actually is very similar to the lore of Power Rangers Time Force. Look that up. Humanity figured out like the perfect human, and then fucking eventually mutants got born.
So another result of the implementation of the Codex Astartes by Guilliman was to slow the process of creating a Space Marine, to more closely monitor their genetic material and the material implanted within new recruits to ensure purity and expunge defect.
Oh, let me go back. He's saying good shit. He's saying important shit. He's saying important
mutations and errors can occur in this DNA replication. So another result of the implementation of the Codex Astartes by Guilliman was to slow the process of creating a Space Marine, to more closely monitor their genetic material and the material implanted within new recruits to ensure purity and expunge defects. Guilliman would also establish core genetic banks on Terra to ensure a stock of genetics existed. These pure sources would provide new material for the foundings of Astartes chapters and also prevent any further contamination.
Dude, they went from like McDonald's to like Five Guys or something. They were just pumping out fucking, I guess they were just pumping out Marines. Boom, 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 boom. And then eventually no pickles on the burger. And they're like, wait. We got to slow this shit down, blood. We got to slow this down. We got to make sure every single Space Marine is to the standard, man, or even higher than the standard. Realistically, if you're creating a army, you would always want the next soldier to be kind of higher than the last soldier. Does that make sense? You would want your army to keep getting better and better and better versus just pumping out a bunch of fucking 6s. You would want 6, 6.1, boom, 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 until you're just creating 25s. And then the 6, that's kind of like with the Thunderhawks. He made the Thunderhawks. He's like, these are mid. Thunderhawks was like a moldy peanut butter sandwich compared to a Space Marine nowadays. What is this? Recruitment.
As previously described, each chapter is responsible for its own replenishment. It chooses where and how to locate potential Space Marine candidates. Many will recruit solely from their own homeworld, but others will reach out to hive worlds of the Imperium to locate powerful and resilient fighters who have shown promise and an unnatural ability in combat, even potentially recruiting from gang fighters in hive cities. Feral planets can also be good for selection, as the humans here are physically tough and have to deal with daily hardships more frequently than some other Imperial planets.
Look at these guys' hats.
Surprisingly, less recruits actually appear from the militaristic worlds like fortress planets, maybe because although no—
Dude, oh my fuck, like, look at this guy and this fucking creature down here, like, and like, dude, they don't make shit like this no more. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, they don't fucking make stuff like this no more. Now, granted, I know they're still making Space Marine, but, like, dude, this is crazy. Oh, you can't even see the guy behind me, but you can see his hat, though. And that should tell you a lot about what you're missing out on.
In the lives of military discipline, they haven't endured the true horror and hardships that come from the rougher ends of Imperial life. Any candidate for a Space Marine will be usually young, between the ages of 10 and 15 years old. Obviously, they need to be strong, healthy, and fiercely loyal to the Imperium.
Old.
Often on worlds where recruitment occurs, young male humans who show exceptional skill or strength are pushed hard to give them the best chance of potential recruitment. Candidates can occasionally be as old as 20, but the full effect of their biological conversions may not be as effective or complete.
Interesting.
Standard trials for Space Marine recruitment often involve combat, endurance, perhaps hunting of some extremely dangerous indigenous animal.
Dude, they're basically like predators from Predator. Like, Space Marines are just human versions of fucking Predator, man. Oh my god, they're so fucking... Dude, and I mean, there are similarities, I'm sure, with the Tyranid and Xenomorphs and Predators and Space Marines, possibly. Right, you guys remember Alien vs. Predator? When that come out, 2005, 2006? They're on top of the fucking building, just shooting fucking aliens and blasting them and cutting them up, and then they blow themselves up. God, dude, what a good, like, first scene into a bad movie.
For the few who survive the tasks set by the Astartes who are there to supervise, the rewards are beyond estimation. It's difficult to describe just how revered Space Marines are to ordinary citizens of the Imperium. While they wouldn't be directly worshipped, they are certainly individuals with godlike reverence and awe. Many humans in the Imperium will go their entire lives without ever even seeing an Astartes, and they may only arrive on an Imperial planet once in a generation. On some worlds, they are even somewhat mythical. So for a family on an Imperial world to have their son chosen for Space Marine recruitment and candidacy would be an honor beyond imagination. But from some perspectives, bittersweet, in as all likelihood they may never see them again once they have been accepted, and in very high possibility will probably die in later processes. But it's nonetheless the highest honor to serve the Emperor and the Imperium in this way.
Let me find out, like, the conversion rate's like 6%. Let me find out you get picked and you have like a 6% chance of fucking making it through all these challenges and tribulations. And I guess they're also probably going to explain, and, you know, let me not, you know, blow my load quickly, so to speak, but I'm sure they're going to explain how the hell these guys get like 15 feet tall.
Right. And would no doubt lead to adulation, even possible special treatment for families after the fact. Ordinary citizens understand that to be accepted for the conversion to the Astartes, the Emperor's chosen warriors, is nothing short of becoming a demigod. Then again, you could just as easily have been recruited from a hive world full of daily extreme violence, and your gang was just forcibly made to participate in the trials, and you were simply the only one left alive at the end. So that's your flip side of the coin. Pray you never seek acceptance to the Grey Knights. I'll cover that later.
The Grey Knights?
Despite all the physical and mental requirements for candidacy, another element is...
Dude, look at her. Hey, we respect women around here. Look at her armor, blood. That is crazy. On the chest plate. That can't be comfortable, right? That can't be comfortable. Unless, like, it's perfectly slotted, right? Then it probably is extremely comfortable. And congratulations. But, dude, holy fuck. Like, just the shoulder, the fucking... I want to know what exactly is it, like, Emperor Scripture hanging from, like, their armor and stuff? Is that, like, the Emperor's Scripture? I don't know. We'll figure that out eventually.
Purity. In the 41st millennium, Imperial society is heavily religious, worshipping the God Emperor, and most importantly, decrying the ruinous powers of chaos. Chaplains and the ecclesiarchy will continually monitor society around Astartes' recruitment sources to ensure that there are no signs of taint by the dark forces of chaos.
Aspirants. Aspirants?
With the easy part over, the selected candidates, now known as aspirants, will begin the ritual process of becoming a Space Marine.
Okay, now we're actually getting into it.
Process of
okay, now we're actually fucking... Okay. Listen, the last 30 minutes was all just leading up to the actual fucking process. Lock the fuck in. This is how you become a fuck... This is where the trading of becoming a fucking... let's go, dude.
Scripture, or it could involve further trials.
I'm fucking feral.
These could take place on the homeworld or result in immediate departure for the aspirant. Each chapter has their own private and guarded initiations.
His gun is the size of his fucking torso! His gun is the size of his fucking torso!
These can be heavily traumatic and are usually significantly harder tests designed to break those who show even the smallest cracks of weakness.
Wow.
These trials for the young aspirants may even include ritual slaughter, scarification, even amputation and bloodletting. It's all designed to prove their commitment, loyalty, and unwavering faith in the Astartes chapter. Unsurprisingly, some aspirants do not pass this phase of testing physically or mentally.
Naturally. Yeah, do chop off your arm.
Continue periods of testing and examination as well as actual live combat during their period as a recruit for the Space Marine chapter. And some of these trials may be cleverly disguised as coming-of-age rituals, other celebrations, some more combat-based.
Okay.
Although will be observed carefully by senior members of the chapter, and chaplains will be assessing key traits and behaviours, looking for candidates who fulfill their exacting requirements. Some of these aspirants from feral worlds or even other worlds may not be truly aware of what Space Marines are, and this innocence may in some way protect them from making overthought errors that cost them later. Still, some chapters actually take little interest in these early stages and will only actually become involved later once aspirants have been further thinned down. The whole process is a physical and psychological minefield. Some challenges could be unachievable, while others the simple act of survival is enough to merit approval to progress to the next stage. All the tests put to Space Marine aspirants are designed to test every element of their being to the limit and expose any weaknesses that are present.
You're fucking getting tortured physically and mentally to get a job. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I was in the military, so, you know, but obviously nothing like this. Like, boot camp was nothing like this. Yes, I had to do a bunch of fucking push-ups and get yelled at, but, like, I wasn't fucking having to fucking put... Is it the fucking claws and teeth of this fucking bear into my skin and then hold up its hide? You know, like, I mean, I kind of, you know, maybe in another life, that is pretty badass. I mean, not lie. I mean, I hope I could complete the challenges, but fuck, man, this is crazy. Markings, random fucking medallions hanging that probably have crazy meaning.
As well as learn about how they handle and make judgments on situations they are presented with. While the recruitment age for these aspirants is undoubtedly young, it's worth remembering that the nightmare environment of the 41st millennium is undoubtedly very harsh, and so growing up and becoming an adult quickly is something which many learn to do, and so...
Are they missing their lower half? Is she hanging on by her upper half of her body? Are they connected? She doesn't have legs. Or a belly button. She's belly button down missing. Possibly like middle ab. Possibly, no, she has upper ab. She has a 2-pack, probably. Grab that sword right there next to you with your good hand, I guess. What the fuck am I looking at?
Their age shouldn't necessarily dictate your judgment of them based on our current period in time.
Crazy aura. Trials, oh my fuck.
Standard Astartes trials for these young recruits can include knowledge of self.
Okay.
Astartes look at recruits' mental strength equally to the physical. The horrors they will face in their lives as a Space Marine, despite later conditioning, require the strongest character in a recruit to be successful and worthy. They may use a chapter librarian to impose psychic horrors on a recruit to see if they survive the nightmares they're forced to witness.
God.
He may be forced to take drugs and face the worst parts of his own psyche. The stress and trauma of this trial can often physically affect their bodies as well. So in many ways, this becomes the ultimate.
They drug you out and then have you, but it's like, but they're fucking psychic being, so it's worse than a dream. Like, you're probably dead ass feeling everything that's happening in that dream. Whatever the hell is happening in that dream. And these guys have 4 arms. This guy's holding a head. This guy's holding a fucking head. And there's a hanging head over there. What am I looking at?
Completion of this trial will undoubtedly fundamentally alter the young recruit forever. Some chapters, like the Imperial Fists, consider this kind of mental testing especially important. They do so by exposing their recruits to literal physical pain, and we use devices like the subtly titled pain glove. These hook into the nervous system of the recruit and inflict horrific pain, but also maintain their consciousness well past what a normal individual could handle. The result will either be a mentally toughened but probably scarred individual, or a complete mental breakdown and death. An obvious and standard test for many recruits is exposure.
Okay, yeah, the pain glove. The pain glove, where you either die or the fucking pain glove. Okay.
Most worlds of the Imperium have unforgiving environments, and so sending out recruits into these wastes with little to survive with is an easy way to tell who is strong enough as a candidate.
Naturally, yeah.
Space Marine apothecaries can rebuild damaged individuals, so the test is less of can you survive without consequences, and more simply, can you survive? Many worlds are severely irradiated, frozen wastes, toxic wastelands, or ashen wastes, where planets have suffered total ecological collapse. Alternately, a planet could also be a literal jungle full of horrific creatures, small and large, ready to tear you to pieces or just melt your face off. As stated, the test is simple: survive for a set period of time. It will also likely involve some object of crossing a distance from A to B, so as to avoid recruits just digging a hole somewhere and sitting in it until time has elapsed.
That's crazy.
Some of the tests could well be impossible to complete.
That's crazy. They really said, like, all right, we're dropping you off in the Sahara Desert. Fucking make it Alaska. You're like, okay, I guess I'm going to start walking. I guess I'm going to start walking and killing. And then you got a guy just watching you. Being like, oh, halfway there. Oh, he got mauled. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he got mauled.
Who can survive longest or travel furthest before dying or near death. The Ultramarines and Space Wolf chapters are known to favour exposure testing. A fairly self-explanatory trial, recruits are pitted against one another in one-on-one combat.
Oh, this is
when
like
the last few remain, the assessing Astartes will usually halt the assessment. The type of duel could vary between armed or unarmed combat, consecutive combat, or recruits switching out on completing rounds. There is one constant though, and that is it's always a fight to the death.
Naturally.
Again, apothecaries are able to heal most ordinary human wounds with ease, so these fights are often fairly no-holds-barred brutal affairs. Amputation and heavy trauma being the norm. Unsurprisingly, duels are the Blood Angels trial of choice, but others such as Dark Angels, Imperial Fists and Space Wolves also put this trial to their recruits. War is life.
Which one would I want, dude? Which one would I want so far? Do I want the pain glove? Do I want to be dropped into a radiation-filled planet where I gotta fucking hike and kill and hopefully make it? Or do I rather hopefully kill everybody else that's trying to join, or maybe survival of the fittest, where I assume it's like a battle royale?
Imperium. And although some worlds know this more than others, planets used for recruitment usually have some form of regular combat going on. This trial is less a trial and more a means of assessing potential candidates. Studies may have observed headhunting particularly strong champions, or they may watch them from orbit, observing infighting between tribes on Imperial feral worlds.
Oh my fucking dude, oh my god. They're literally, dude, this is like as if the British were like just watching Native American tribes fight, and then there's like a fucking dude in a tribe that's just like so menacing and good, and they're like, all right, we'll take that guy. We'll put the pain glove on we'll put the pain glove on that guy whose name's gonna be walking buffalo, you know? And now walking buffalo is a fucking space marine fighting Tyranids on a distant planet. That's so crazy.
In this trial, recruits are tasked to head out into their homeworld and slay a beast for causing chaos or harm to their world.
Oh.
Many Imperial worlds host
That's
highly
pretty cool.
dangerous life forms or worse, orc infestations.
Ooh.
The recruit must go out alone or sometimes in small groups and return with their captured hunt, often alive.
Alive
with these
is
group
crazy.
Hunts, though, the nasty twist is that there can only be one successful recruit, so they could turn on each other, break off alone to achieve or steal victory. I personally question the validity of this test.
Yeah, this one
Fighting
seems
to the death
weird.
to show strength over others.
Why are
seems
you betraying
plausible,
your
but
boys?
setting out in as a group, but then betraying other recruits seems to go kind of against the traits Astartes look for.
Yeah, that one
in
doesn't seem.
recruits.
This one had to
Anyway,
be phased out.
On returning home, they'll be required to slay their successful hunt in a ritual in front of their community before being led successfully away in the throes of
Yeah, I wouldn't
glory.
like this one. I wouldn't like this one.
Lastly, the quite
I can't
vague-
betray the right. If I'm going out with homies, I can't betray the homies. But if I'm in like a death battle with a guy, hey man, I'm sorry. I will try to win. No, I don't know if I will, but I'm gonna try. You know what I'm saying? But I can't backstab a guy. You know, that's fucked.
challenge trial. And this is exactly what it is, some form of probably unsurmountable challenge. This could be to attempt to fight a full-blown space marine.
What? 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 I got no. What?
Trial. And this is exactly what it is, some form of probably unsurmountable challenge. This could be to attempt to fight a full-blown space marine in combat.
No.
An impossible task, you might imagine, but usually remember this is the 41st millennium and bizarre occurrences are abound. While the thought of a child fighting a space marine seems insane, remember the task is usually to see how they approach it, not necessarily their success.
Okay, so
In
okay,
some
Space Marine
extreme
isn't
rare
gonna like
situations, though,
crack his
the
neck right
aspirant
away.
may actually beat the Space Marine challenger. As completely impossible as this may seem, that individual usually will hold some unusual or rare power and will go on to become a legendary hero.
Okay, so he has
the-
plot armor. Okay, my bad. Okay, well, I guess if I had like super psychic abilities, I would probably challenge a Space Marine as well. Is this the Blood Raven? No, these ain't the Blood Ravens, are they? I don't even know. It's hard. I gotta get better at understanding the logos. Drinking out of a skull chalice. Casually.
Chapter. The aspirant will also usually be armed, while the Space Marine unarmed and
Naturally.
without his power armor. Still, as with most of
Oh.
the former trials, the test here is really about if they can just survive at all, not so much best their opponent.
Okay, what's going on here? Cutscene?
Other arguably more horrific tests, though, could be non-combat based and test a recruit's strength, speed, mental skill, or resistance to toxins.
Why is this guy
So
on
they
fire?
might, for example, be forced to drink nightmarish toxic chemicals, lift weights so heavy they break their bones apart, or evade some kind of horrific dangerous trap. Recruits deemed to have succeeded by whatever standards, however unlikely, will then be restored by chapter apothecaries. Ultramarines and again Imperial Fists favour these trials. Clearly, a great many recruits will not survive this stage of assessment, but even those who fail to be accepted but by some miracle survive will usually be heavily respected for having done so, not just by their families and friends, but by the assessing Astartes.
Okay, so like, hey, okay, so this is our recruit, new recruit. Hey, Jim, right, let me not slouch in front of the Emperor. He's like, hey, Jim, we got a new Astartes coming in. What trial did he do? Did he do the walking on the radioactive planet with killer mammoths? No, he drank the poison? He really? He chose that one? He chose to drink the poison and die, basically, and get rebuilt? Oh, holy, okay, this guy's about that. Okay, well, that's probably why, dude. They're like, this guy purposely chose the one that has like a 99% death rate without like outside factors. You know, if you're fighting in the Coliseum, the guy that you're fighting could trip and then boom, you get the kill and then you win. This is ingest, just drink this poison. Like, That is so fucking. That is so
Having
crazy.
done no wrong but maybe just not made the cut, these surviving but unsuccessful aspirants who were assessed on their home world may return to their former communities, a rare occurrence.
Damn,
Or
they got fired.
they may continue on to serve the chapter as a serf, a menial but loyal servant who takes personal care of, say, a marine's armor and weaponry.
Oh, are these the guys that like are sweeping around the battle barge?
To return to their homes are extremely
Damn, dude, imagine trying to become a space marine, you become a fucking serf. That would be mentally challenging in itself.
few, but surprisingly are not perceived as failures. It would be made clear to all that having just survived, they have shown sheer strength and integrity as an Imperial citizen. They would then likely go on to become a strong leader for that world as Imperial Guard, Planetary Defense Force, or some other leadership.
They get like a little, I want to be a dude. They're like the guys in boot camp. They were like, I was gonna become special forces, but then I twisted my ankle. You know, like that's what they become. They just go back to Imperial land, not a space marine, but they, you know, they become like in charge of like a bunch of bozos.
Successful aspirants will now become neophytes. They will move on to the next stage, where they begin the early stages of conversion to a full space marine with the initial implantation of the gene seed and chemical adaptation of their genetically enhanced organs. This could mean immediate departure with a space marine brother to the next phase, or it may be that they are allowed to celebrate in their home community before departure. A very huge moral boost for the Imperial community there, and also to help reinforce Imperial values and loyalty. To be able to say your community gained a successful Astartes recruit is no small thing, and statues, paintings, songs and stories will be told for many years, if not generations to come.
That's dope. Because these guys live a long time, right?
Engage in training for combat as well as other mental training, as well as following chapter lore. If a neophyte should break chapter lore through ignorance or unthinkably by deliberately doing so, they will expect severe punishments. A neophyte breaking chapter lore will not simply be thrown out, they would likely be mind scrubbed, live out their lives as either, best case scenario, chapter serfs, being menial servants, or worse, forcible amputation and body conversion to life as cybernetic drones and slaves as servitors. Successful neophytes immediately will begin conditioning to be implanted with their gene seeds and relevant genetic enhancements. Space Marines must be male because the gene seed is only compatible with male hormones and genetics. So no, you won't see female Space Marines.
What the? Wait. Let's read some of these. Second heart, boost blood supply, enables breathing in low oxygen. Boost in strength of skeleton, osmodula. Biscopia, muscle growth. Betcher's gland, gives Marine the ability to spit a corrosive poison. Zeus on membrane, allows survival from trauma through suspected. It says ammunition. I feel like it's hard to read that one. Lyman's ear, filters background noise, improves balance. Lehrman's organs, promotes growth of instant scar tissue over wounds. What the fuck is this, man? Holy shit! Holy fuck!
The neophytes also need to be tested for compatibility.
And you can only be a guy, right?
Seems only compatible with male hormones.
Only a bunch of dudes.
So no, you won't see female Space Marines. The neophytes.
Well, apparently there are female Space Marines now. You don't. This is before fucking woke, right? This is back when shit was fucking what it was and what didn't have to change for fucking society.
Need to be tested for compatibility. I'm always kind of surprised that this doesn't happen before the recruitment trials, but anyway. So they're tested for compatibility. Otherwise, as with organ transplants, rejection would be fatal for the neophyte. Even with this testing, it can still happen later down the line. They will then further have their mental strength checked before implantation of the gene seed begins to ensure that they are in no way compromised by the forces of chaos.
This is crazy. Initiates. Okay.
If all these criteria are approved, the neophyte recruit will now become a Space Marine scout, or in some cases a full Space Marine initiate. They will live isolated in the Space Marine chapter's fortress monastery on the homeworld, save for any approved missions. The individual will be tutored on battle methods, tactics, psycho-conditioning, values, and the history of his chapter
The history
reason
about
these early
damn, and
Marines
you
are
get
titled
tested.
initiates is because it is still unknown as to whether they will even survive to the final end process of becoming a full battle brother. 19 organs grown from the chapter gene seed will be implanted to the neophyte initiate. Some are transplants and others are grown in the trainee Marine's body. The gene seed will also adapt and change and grow the individual's body to become the giant size of a space marine, towering over ordinary mortal humans.
How tall are they? Does it say?
Much of the body chemistry will be fundamentally reworked during this time.
Oh my god,
and the
dude,
gene seed
just keep
contains
going.
genetically engineered viral machines which rebuild the body to the template created by the Emperor. Any implant has a potential to fail, and this rejection will automatically end and probably kill the initiate.
What? I'm getting dude, you're telling me they're basically just throwing organs inside of me left and right. 18, right? I think you said 18 organs. Maybe plus or minus some, depending on maybe the chapter or whatever the hell they got going on. 18 organs, and if any of them fail, I just die? That's out of my control, man. But hey, fuck it. I guess I should have been stronger. I guess I'm too weak
the odds
for the
stacked
Emperor.
against them already. This further thins down the number who survive to the end of this arduous process.
Damn.
In brief, the 19 implanted or grown organs to become a full
18.
space marine are as follows. First, a secondary heart to increase blood supply and capacity. It can also pump steroids and extra adrenaline for battle situations.
Naturally.
The os modular or iron heart. This strengthens and grows the skeleton of a space marine so that his bones will contain a ceramic-based mineral which is added to an initiate's diet. After a few years, the space marine skeleton will be exponentially stronger than a normal human.
Yeah,
the rib
he's
cage will have become
adamantium.
fused to a solid bone plate, providing extra protection for internal organs.
Oh my god, their ribs are just a fucking plate. Oh my god, dude, that's so sick.
The biscopia is implanted within the chest cavity, and this increases skeletal muscular development, essentially muscle density. The hemastomen assists in carrying oxygen and nutrients more efficiently throughout the blood. It also assists in regulating the second and third implants. The Larraman's organ is also placed in the chest and manufactures synthetic Larraman cells. These serve like ordinary human blood platelets.
Look at this, dude. And you're telling me phase 1 through 3 are all at the same time, and then 4 and 5. So your fucking bones and you're gonna get thicker bones and thicker muscles at the same fucking time. Your rib cage is gonna become a fucking a sheet of bone, and your muscles are gonna get gigantic.
But faster and more efficient. When a space marine is wounded, they form fully healed scar tissue in seconds, preventing hemorrhaging. This ability can make space marines appear invincible as they take wound after wound. Anything other than the most catastrophic of injuries is going to leave them still standing.
Yeah.
The catalepsion node is implanted in the back of the cerebrum. It allows space marines to avoid the need for sleep, entering them into a form of ongoing coma, allowing their brain the ability to systematically recharge by individual parts at a time. This enables them to stay on duty for hundreds of hours. The 7th implant is the preomnor. It functions as a decontamination chamber above the stomach and will analyze ingested materials, neutralizing any organic or inorganic toxins. It also enables Astartes to eat materials for sustenance that would kill ordinary humans. The omophagia is implanted.
I told you they would love Red 40. I told you they would love Red 40. They can just ingest Red 40 and then they just get the red, no 40.
Implanted in the upper spinal.
Dude, what the fuck are they implanting in, people, dude? Oh my fuck, my brain can't wrap, I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm, trying to imagine I now have another heart, my ribs are fucking sheet metal, my fucking muscles are crazy. If I cut myself, it scars in seconds. I never have to fucking sleep, and I can now basically eat anything.
It absorbs information through.
And we're not even halfway! We're not even halfway!
Ingested DNA and RNA related to medical.
What's he say?
It absorbs ordinary humans. The omophagia is implanted in the upper spinal cord. It absorbs information through ingested DNA and RNA related to memories. The purpose is to gain tactical or survival information by eating animals or life forms indigenous on a planet. In addition to a second heart, Space Marines also have multi-lungs as their 9th implant. 3 in fact. This is to give them extra oxygen absorption in thin air environments. In a toxic environment, their ordinary lungs are shut off to allow the 3rd lung to act as a filter for any necessary toxins. The 10th adaptation is the ocular lobe. It's a gene seed adaptation that enhances eyesight along the optic nerves. This gives increased accuracy of vision and increased low light sight ability. Lyman's ear is not simply better for more accurate hearing, it enables Marines to resist ordinary human dizziness and for them to be able to filter out white noise and sonic attacks.
Dude, what? Sonic attacks, by the way.
Space Marine to
sonic attacks, oh, you're trying to sonic attack? Yeah, it doesn't fucking work. They got Lyman's ear, dumbass. I know, I'm gonna fucking hit him with a sonic attack. Oh no, they got Lyman's ear. Dude, what? They're immune to fucking sonic attack. Bro, imagine the loudest noise ever. And they're like, yeah, I don't fucking hear that shit, though. Yeah, I don't hear that shit. I'm too busy thinking about this fucking deer that I ate. And now I know where the fuck to get berries. But I guess it doesn't matter. I can go eat fucking poison ivy and be fine.
State of suspended.
I'm just going to eat a fucking tree.
Animation. The Sasan membrane allows a Space Marine to enter a state of suspended animation. This can enable mortally wounded Marines to survive until help or an apothecary's arrival. This hibernation period has been known to be able to last for anything as long as half a century.
They dead ass go into fucking sleep mode. They just say, oh, I guess I'm gonna die. Let me just go into a fucking corner real quick and just sleep for half a century, by the way. A century is 100 years, if I'm not mistaken. So for 50 years, so as long as I've been alive, which is 28 years, a Space Marine has probably just been napping, waiting for somebody to come and just repair him so he can go back to war. That's so fucking
monochrome
nutty.
Alters the pigments in his skin cells, allowing Astartes to shield himself from dangerous radiation and heat. Different levels of this in effect can cause physical differences between chapters, such as the very pale skin of the Blood Angels or the darker skin of the Salamanders.
Damn, that's how they explain white and black people?
Filters blood to further remove toxins that have been ingested in combination with the 7th organ. It is best not
So is it like the darker you are? Like, so like would I have like decent like radiation because I'm brown? Would I have like, could I go to like half the radiated planets? But if I was like pale, I couldn't. Is that how that works? That's crazy. That's crazy lore. And I mean, like, and you know what? This is kind of like the pre-woke to woke shit on inclusivity. They're like, okay, well, how the hell do we have like browns and, you know, darker toned Space Marines? Oh, it's just like their radiation skin
that have been ingested in combination with the 7th organ. It is best not to think of this though like an ordinary kidney, as this organ functions to assist in removing toxins before they have passed through any normal process of absorption. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very useful. Wow. It also helps to regulate the advanced circulatory system and other organs. The neuroglottis in the mouth allows a Marine to biochemically analyze things by taste or smell, or determine if something is poisonous or safe. Despite their advanced organs, this can still be very useful for a variety of purposes, and it can also enable them to...
Dude, I know I'm pausing it after every single implant, but every single implant is crazier than the last one. So now they can eat something and know everything about the world, and then they can also just like taste it and or smell something and know that, oh my,
track targets, much like a canine. The muconoid is implanted in the nervous system and, if activated through an external treatment, will cause the Astartes skin to secrete a waxy substance. This will cocoon them to protect them in situations of extended suspended animation, even the vacuum of space or other temperature extremes. The Betcher's gland consists of 2 glands implanted in the mouth. These allow the Astartes to use their saliva as a corrosive acid when consciously
That one's
activated.
crazy.
This could enable them to corrode bars if they were held captive, or remove doors from their hinges. It also can assist them in eating difficult to break down substances. Some marine chapters have found that this organ no longer functions or has become less effective over time.
Oh, interesting.
The progenoid glands, or the gene seeds, are the critical organs of a space marine. They're implanted into the neck and chest cavity and serve as reproductive glands to allow their DNA to be collected upon death and safeguard the continuity of the chapter. Apothecaries of a Space Marine chapter will cultivate germ cells from the progenoid glands to create the 19 organs of a Space Marine, or some of them, because some are grown within the Space Marine themselves. The final organ is the black carapace, otherwise called the interface. This material is implanted under the skin of the chest with the now shell-like ribcage. Fibered bundles then grow inward and interlink with the Space Marine's nervous system. Points for these bundles are pre-cut by apothecaries and form neural connection points. The function of these are to allow a Space Marine to interface with the heavy power armor, or as some would have you believe, the armor's machine spirit. These connections enables faster reaction and maneuverability. Without this, Space Marines would lumber around very much encumbered by the heavy armor they wear.
Wow, that's so they get plugged into their armor, finally. Their last implant. So every other implant goes good, and like, okay, now this motherfucker can become a Space Marine, give him his armor. And also, can we talk about the aura of this fucking photo? Dude, what? So that's him before and after putting on his armor? He's just plugged the fuck in, holding on to the Emperor's words or something, and then now he's a dude. Oh my, man. I've learned so much during this video.
Lumber around very much encumbered by the heavy armor they wear. It's worth remembering that this whole process probably sounds heavily traumatic, but consider that it ideally happens when the young neophyte initiates between the ages of about 10 to 12 years old and should be then completed by age 18. Many are going to suffer critical or multiple organ failure during the process. The penalty, or arguably mercy for this, is usually euthanasia, although conversion to a servitor for the chapter is sometimes an option depending on chapters.
You want to die or
and their
become
needs.
a servant.
Again, for those families who never see their sons again, in some cases, it's probably for the best. All they need to know is he's serving the Imperium.
That's so funny, dude. Imagine that's your son. Imagine you're like, oh, whoopsie. Imagine you're like, yeah, my son became a Space Marine. Like, he's sweeping the fucking floors, and he's like a mindless zombie also.
More recently, since the involvement of Belisarius' call of the Mechanicum, Primaris Marines are a new breed of superhuman Astartes. Under instruction from Robert Gulliman, Primaris Astartes are only created from the gene seeds of loyalist Primarchs. They contain 3 additional organs, and their gene seed is considerably more genetically stable.
Okay, so these are the better
Gulliman
guys.
had instructed Call to develop these new organs with the goal of creating the Primaris. The additional organs are the sinew coils. This enables the sinew of a Primaris Astartes to be durametallic, contracting with immense force, gifting them extreme strength and his body further resilience. This increased strength will literally enable them to crush the skulls of their enemies with bare hands.
That is
magnifact,
crazy.
and this small lobe is inserted to the brain cortex. It secretes a hormone to increase the body's growth functions, with the goal of also intensifying further functions of the other implanted organs.
My god, they put the fuck, dude, they put a DLC into the fucking Space Marines. They put a fucking DLC. They said, all right, they gave them a fucking all stats up. Oh my fuck. They gave them an all stats up.
Apparently, this organ is in fact half of the immortis gland, the god-maker gland of the Primarchs. For undisclosed reasons, Call was only able to discover the right half of this gland, not the full gland itself.
Yeah, the full gland would be They're going to come out with the full... They might come out with the left gland later, possibly, and then they're going to get the full gland fully.
Half had been fully eradicated from Imperial records by either the Emperor himself or others unknown.
Yeah.
And third,
maybe the full gland turns you into the Emperor. You know what I'm saying? So he's only given half of his power. Because if you give him all the power, then all these motherfuckers are Emperors. And then nobody's an emperor. Think about that.
Astartes furnace. This organ lies dormant and connects to both a marine's heart. In times of immense physical stresses, it expels chemicals simulating combat stimulants, increasing the regrowth of tissue, bone and muscle. This is a short-term use organ and requires time to recharge after using.
They have an adrenaline supercharged pre-workout creatine vent organ that just if they're going to fucking die, they say, wait a second, let me fucking boost my power real quick and survive this shit. Astartes.
Now, if this incredibly harrowing physical conversion is successful, the neophyte or initiate will have completed the arguably most challenging part of his transformation. However, during these changes, they will still be undergoing some of the most challenging training and assessment regimes humanity had ever known. Psychological and physical conditioning, subconscious therapy, and endless live battle training sessions. Their senses and mental abilities far exceed ordinary humans by the end of this process. Their mental toughness is beyond measure, and an Astartes will essentially ignore pain and environmental conditions. An Astartes will assault enemies who, to simply look upon, would make an ordinary human suffer a complete mental break. Many, through endless conditioning, will develop photographic memories. Much of this round-the-clock therapy will also neutralize any latent character flaws and create stable, highly single-minded warriors. This endless mental and physical indoctrination will also teach and reinforce high respect for authority.
Dude, they're holding up his fucking armor, dude. Oh my... I can't wait to watch how dreadnoughts are made. I just know everything that I'm fucking... Oh my... Warhammer is so cool! Dude, this needs to be... Not needs. This is something a lot of people should look into. This is just so fucking badass, man. My God, I'm so upset that I got in late, but at the same time, I'm happy that I got in, you know what I'm saying?
And to expertly carry out orders. With that said, it's important to remember that Space Marines are not mindless drones or clones. They are individuals, and while always following the rule of command, if a situation warrants it, they are entirely capable of disobeying orders if they believe it to be ultimately necessary. The consequences for this, though, could be, and usually are, potentially highly severe. At the end of this process, the few successful young children who are pitted against one another and survive the ordeals to reach this point will be welcomed as successful young initiates, becoming full Space Marine battle brothers, Imperial Astartes, the greatest warriors in the galaxy. Astartes' aging, though, does seem somewhat random, with some living even as long as 10,000 years. But given the fractured and strange nature of time in the 41st millennium, it can be really hard to put accurate expectancies on this, and fair. Many Marines who are not killed may reach at least half a century in age. It's no exaggeration to state that on successfully becoming an Astartes, these men would be far from what you would recognize as human. Their extended lives and nearly unbreakable bodies are truly no prize. Their lives from this point on are spent in the sole act.
Guy's missing an arm. Guy down here is missing an arm.
Of defending humanity and the Imperium of Man. Accepting that their lives will be lost in battle at some point in the future, probably in horrific circumstances, they'll never see anyone they had ever known in their lives again. Families, friends will die far before they even begin to think of such things. Space Marines are the protectors.
That's the Emperor, by the way.
Humanity in the 41st millennium stands on a precipice. We've known many horrors, disasters, and catastrophes, the ending of many worlds, but the next millennia will be the most critical. Threats surround humanity, some still difficult to gauge just how severe and if we can resist them.
Look at these guys.
Our hope is in the Astartes, and the Imperium of Man, and the Emperor. With the Primarch rulebook Guilliman returned, there is a glimmer of hope in the darkness.
Wow. Wow. Man never changes, so war never changes. Guilliman, Ultramarines Primarch, Lord Commander of the Imperium of Man. Wow. What a fantastic video. What a fantastic video. Wow. I learned so much. You know, I know about the 19 organs. I know about how they train. I know about the trials and tribulations. What happens to the successful ones? What happens to the failure ones? Who created what? Like, I learned so much in this video. It's like, this is lore, man. Like, this is lore. Thank you, Luton. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Luton. I mean, his video description will be in the comments down below. I doubt this guy needs a shout out from me, but wow. Truly amazing. And with that, gonna bring the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the yapping. I'm about to hop on Space Marine 2. Dead ass. I just prestige, so I gotta get up to prestige 4 with the heavy. I just got the increased parry and perfect dodge window by 25%. I'm already using the relic heavy bolter, so I already have a 50% parry and dodge window, but I don't like the venting speed. I like the bolter with the higher venting speed, because even if you land, you know, a gunshot or an execute, your heavy bolter is venting during that animation. I don't really need it to vent after a gunshot anyway. So I'd much rather just have high venting, because if you accidentally fully burn out, it takes fucking forever, it feels like, for it to like unvent. But so that's what I'm gonna be doing. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I greatly do appreciate it. Dawn of War 3 will be on its way soon. Thank you. Thank you. Comment down below where the hell I can watch a Dreadnought video. And I'll see y'all again next time. See ya!